Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, and good morning, wherever somebody listens to this. This is yours truly, Aaron Hana Dragon. Coffee with Dragon special event, the Israeli elections. Israeli elections, of course, are ongoing at this moment in time as it is 7, I believe it is 1:09 p.m. here in the afternoon in Hakaila, Montreal. Let's see what time is it in Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv, it is. Would love to go to the Tel Aviv Pride Parade. That would be an experience. You're still for a Pride Parade in Tel Aviv. Gonna dance, 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 rock, rock, rock. I'm just gonna say ahava, ahava, ahava. The only word that I'm gonna say during Pride is gonna be this Hebrew word, and then ahava, and then a Yiddish word, tanzen, meaning dancing. It's Hebrew word and a Yiddish word. During the whole Pride event, 2023, I'm just gonna say ahava and tanzen. Maybe a third word. What will be a third word? To love and dance, kiss, kissing, or kissing. As a fact, I got the dictionary. My anonymous sister, if I make a million, I'm gonna give her half of my anonymous sister. If I make a million, I'm gonna give her half of my anonymous sister. If I make a million, I'm gonna give her half after paying my $10,000 debt. And if I'm androgynous, pansexual, of course, and marriage for me is marrying all my willing, loving allies and armies. We're got a big open marriage. My allies and armies pledge your allegiance, whether thou art east, west, north, south. We're gonna make a big open marriage, big open marriage. But if I would ever to marry somebody, I would definitely marry my anonymous sister. Anyways, we're gonna see on the kisses. So I'm gonna say achava during the Pride Parade. Just this word achava, and kisses. Gonna say the word kisses in Hebrew. So I'm gonna check what is the word for kiss. And tanzen in Yiddish is to dance. I'm just gonna dance, say achava, and kiss. It's gonna be the main words. Israeli elections. It is currently in Israel time. It is 7:11 p.m. So they're having their sun set as it's 1:11 here p.m. in the afternoon in Hakaila, Montreal, November 1st. I'm grateful, thankful that I paid my rent, fully paid my rent for the month of November, and fully paid my electricity bill for the month of November. And yours truly, this triple vaccinated, independent artist, independent activist, independent athlete, triple A plus other dimensions of philosopher, geopolitical analyst, and theorist, and universal spiritual teaching student who was many past lives, many incarnations, even on this island, Hawk Island, Montreal, was incarnated in past lives, was born right here on this island of Montreal that I call Hawk, H-A-W-K, Hawk Island, Montreal, in past lives, from the ancient Egypt by the Nile, where I met Moses and danced with Moses' sisters Miriam, and to the ancient Sumeria, ancient Babylon by the Euphrates, to ancient India by the Ganges, by the Danube in ancient Rome, and right here by the Rio Grande and the Mississippi in North America and Central America, and down about, round about Central America. Many past lives, many incarnations. This universal spiritual teaching student who was an Israeli in many past lives was in Israeli a few times, like 10 times. Well, ancient Israel, of course, that are hundreds of years, and of course the children of Israel from the Bible, the book of Genesis, the mysterious Bnei Israel from the Bible of ancient Israel. My main message is today with consent, mutual understanding and love. To my allies and armies, and to matter of fact, to anybody listening to this, is this. Hug like you never hugged before today, and I'm grateful, thankful that my rent is fully paid my rent in these tough financial economic times for Canadians, many Canadians, not all, not the multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires, many born in the USA, United States, my brothers and sisters, where I was born twice in past lives in the US of A. As a matter of fact, that way 156 years ago, 718 miles south of Hawkeye, Montreal, served in the US Army, as I was of course born many times in ancient Israel. Right here, 11:14 p.m. Please, if you do make a mean on the stock market today, buy, sell, trade stocks, commodities, futures, options, puts, buy pork bellies, chops, futures, big stocks, penny stocks, medium stocks, buy, sell, trade, commodities, oil. Please, if you do make 1 million on the stock market, buy, sell, trade, please give 10% for food security. 10% of 1 million is the equivalent of 100,000, so you can divide 100,000 by 4, which equivalates to 25,000. Thus, give 25,000 for food security, 25,000 for women's sports leagues, 25,000 for LGBTQ youth services, and 25,000 for Mother Nature. Kiss. So the three words, if I go in Tel Aviv with the Pride Parade, hopefully next year in Tel Aviv in the Pride Parade, dressed in rainbow, yours truly androgynous, pansexual, yours truly rainbow dragon with a big red booty, gonna work on that booty peach. I'm gonna be able to twerk, be able to do some twerking in Tel Aviv. That's a good twerking, good rainbow twerking in Tel Aviv in the Pride Parade. 2023, how about that? KISS. The word for kiss. Kiss. Lenashek. I'm gonna say Lenashek, 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 Lenashek. And there's another word for it. Neshika. Neshika. It's a noon shin yud kof and chay. Noon shin yud kof and chay. The Hebrew letters. Noon shin yud kof and chay. It's neshika. Nishika. I'm just gonna say Nishika, 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 Nishika. As co-prime minister, calling to be co-prime minister, as first time co-prime minister to whoever wins, I'm just gonna offer kisses, Nishikat, Nishika, Nishika, kisses, hugs, tickles, some marching, some dancing, some tickles, and some steps to whoever is the co-prime minister, as prime minister of Israel, who's elected. It's gonna check for the election. We're gonna do some reading about the election, but going to be a co-prime minister of Israel. You see dragon. How do you say dragon in? Let's see. How do you say dragon in Hebrew Israeli? Let's see. So kiss, the most important one is kiss. Achava, achava, achava. Love is the most important one. And love is action, not just blah blah blah. Is yours truly, philosopher, geopolitical analyst, and theorist, and independent athlete and artist. I am, of course, calling for the implementation of my trinity of theories: the CIT, citizen integration theory, the debt row fusion theory, and the democratic fusion. And that trinity of theories to be implemented via the fourth dimension, and that fourth dimension is LOV. But first and foremost, we got to implement the debt fusion theory, which I firmly believe at this point in time with inflation, stringflation, and growing economic financial crisis, I do believe first and foremost that my debt fusion theory, the DRT of which I've written over the past 7, 8, 9, 10 years, as I've studied, as I've made the libraries of the city of Hakka and Montreal my second home, and the many tens of thousands of books, my friends, and I've read tens of thousands of pages of philosophy, poetry, art, you name it, everything under the sun, and still don't know it all. I admit that some things I am mediocre. I admit that some things I am so-so. I admit that some things I am average. While admitting that I'm average, so-so, mediocre at some other things, even if perhaps useless at some other things, I am great, super, and excellent. So I complement with some brain and some muscle everything that I'm good at. And before I proceed to go in a philosophical stance on my theorizing, theoretics, and athletics and artists, I'm gonna give a thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you. Because of course I am, of course, a Quebecer who loves the French language, who speaks language, who was born in a Quebec. In a past life, I actually helped Louis Cyr the Storm, push some horses on a car. Puis j'ai dit, ah ouais, tabarnak, pousse-moi les chevaux comme il faut dans un camion. C'était pas un camion, mais c'était comme une calèche, une genre de calèche, genre. It was like a horse cart, like in a past life right here with the strongman Louis Cyr. So, being Ramiro from Hawk Island, Montreal, Quebec, Canada, on this island, supporting NATO as a North American, many past lives, many incarnations, as a world peace advocate who is so-so at some things, average at other things, mediocre at some other things, but at the same time who's excellent and great at some other things, while complementing I admit I lust. I got vices. I got issues. I'm not perfect. As a universal spiritual teaching student, I don't play at self-righteous, floating on clouds of self-righteousness because I'm not perfect and I have questions. My belief in reincarnation, reincarnation in good, balancing the good deeds with the bad deeds, doing increasing in acts of goodness and kindness in a non-sectarian, non-dogmatic manner, in a non-dogmatic, non-sectarian manner, in a non-dogmatic and non-sectarian manner, believing in increasing in acts of goodness and kindness, right? And goodness and kindness to whoever. From my allies and armies, allies and armies, pledge your allegiance, whoever. How can I do goodness and kindness? What I would like to do goodness and kindness by action. A good XYZ, a good kiss, a good hug, a good. I was marching to get. I the dustpan you want be? Yes, sure. It's right by the door. Inside? Yeah, you're gonna have to open the door. Dustpan. There's dust central here in the underground room of the temple headquarters, and that was my anonymous sister whom I anonymous nominated as the prime queen general of the dancing goddess and the dragon king. My anonymously nominated as the prime queen general, prime minister, chief officer, secretary general of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. My anonymous sister I nominate as my prime general, prime queen officer, prime high priestess, chief general officer, secretary general of the dancing goddess and the dragon empire kingdom, and whom if I make a million I'm gonna give her half. After paying my debt, I'm in debt $10,000 to the RBC, debt $10,000 to the RBC, debt $10,000 to the RBC, and I'm not perfect, far from it. I lust. And how do I do good to my allies and armies is by some actions. XYZ and all the activities that I do as an independent athlete, live streaming my workouts would call for some action, calling on the multi-millionaire athletes, multi-billionaire owners of the sports leagues to donate for mass food security, because my brothers and sisters, everybody gotta eat. Everybody gotta eat. Everybody gotta eat. Prime Minister, citizen, unemployed, employed, billionaire, millionaire, artist, athlete, everybody gotta eat. So food, in my universal spiritual teaching student that I am, in my universal spirituality, universal spiritual teachings, importance, the primary of holiness and sanctity of food, either a meditation or a blessing, mystery of the creation of this food. And as the motto of the dancing goddess army is, that all fruits, vegetables, and legumes, all the grain as well, all the grain, are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. That is a mystic, more spiritual approach. The sun now rises and the sun now sets. The sun now sheds light at a macro level. Canada coast to coast, United States coast to coast, Mexico coast to coast, Guatemala coast to coast, Costa Rica coast to coast, Panama coast to coast, El Salvador coast to coast, going down to Colombia coast to coast, down to Bolivia coast to coast, down to Venezuela coast to coast, Argentina coast to coast, down to Uruguay coast to coast, Chile coast to coast, Paraguay coast to coast, and Brazil coast to coast, of all of North America, Central America, and South America, right? In Africa, Europe, and the Middle East, they're having their sunset now. In Tel Aviv, it's 7:53, but maybe in Cairo, it's 6:53, right? Because 1 hour time zone difference from Cairo, city of the pyramids, where I was in many past lives, many incarnations. So doing a meditation for world peace, it's that it also requires some action. If we're going to work towards world peace, as I am a world peace advocate, not totally devoid, and I admit I have aggression, but my brothers and sisters, I channel and sublimate the aggression, I channel and sublimate the aggression so that I harm none and utilize the best of my competency. Sure, I'm a universal spiritual teaching student. I admit I would love to afford bacon once a week. I am still grateful, thankful that I was able to afford bacon last month. But I would like to have it once a week, bacon, good cheese, some wine here local from Quebec that I never tried before. I admit it. To save self-righteous and XYZ, I try to be in balance between the self and the greater good. I do firmly believe that my theory is to be implemented in order to create the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force in complementary with the International Integrated Dancing, the Dragon Army nickname, and the Dancing Goddess Army nickname, that I believe the best at this point in time for their creation and implementation via the trinity of my theories to be implemented, and thus the establishment of the public-private partnership, the PPP, public-private partnership of the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, to be for service and security with the International Integrated Dance League, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, right? To be implemented. I believe where we are now in the 21st century, this November 1st, I'm got three things plus other to be grateful for. I am grateful, thankful today that my rent's fully paid for November. I am also grateful, thankful that my electricity bill is paid in full for November, month of November, first day of November, first day of the month. We got 20, more than 3 weeks, 22 more days of the Scorpio month. We got 22 more days of the Scorpio month. We got 22 more days of the Scorpio month. I'm grateful, thankful to the past, present, and future workers of Hydro-Québec. Here in la belle province, ça vous danse un peu comme vous. Which of course I create by songs, philosophy, and art as well in French. I'm a Quebecer. I'm a Canadian. I'm a North American. I'm a world peace advocate as well, but my brothers, we gotta learn to channel and sublimate the aggression. If we are to break these impasses as we're now heading towards World War III, which in a parallel, providential, paradoxical way, the situation resembles very much of my geopolitical analysis and theorizing and analysis and conclusion back in 2019, when yours truly back in 2019 as a geopolitical analyst and theorist, a world peace advocate, have of course made, created, and produced the workout as an independent athlete on a fitness journey back then, and still am, have in complementing these parts of myself, being a world peace advocate, geopolitical analyst and theorist, independent fitness captain. Back in October 2019, of course, I've made and created and designed the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the 300 workout, aka the Dragon Army workout, to go hand in hand with such a scenario, such an event. It seems that it has truly become reality in many, many, many ways. Back in 2019, what I'm referring to, of course, is back in 2019, yours truly, Adrian H. Dragonborn, who died during COVID, and being reborn, Adrian Hanna, Dragon, androgynous pansexual, founder of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. Back then, of course, I've created, made, and produced the scenario based on my analysis from the macro level, my geopolitical analysis as an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist. So back then I've of course come to the conclusion that we, humanity, have sounded the alarm back in October 2019. I've sounded the alarm back in October 2019. I've said, humanity, we are again on the path towards another international conflagration. And so made, created, and designed and produced the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army workout, aka the 300 workout, design, made, and produced to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario, which in a nearly providential, paradoxical, providential way resembles the COVID-19 health and financial crises. And so, having made it and created to go hand in hand with such a scenario back in 2019, as have back then analyzed, taking the geopolitical events, and I am super excellent and great at geopolitical analysis, can dissect complex dimensions of geopolitical interrelations and regions and nation states with their integrated civilizational context and different historical events and precedents and antecedents, to come to a conclusion which is based on wisdom, understanding, and knowledge of a geopolitical nature of different factors of civilizations and regions and nation states, such as the finances, the military, the culture, the XYZ factors. So back in 2019, I've concluded, I said, humanity, we are again on a path towards an international conflagration. And so created, made, and designed and produced the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army workout, designed to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario, of which has manifested in many ways with COVID, and now furthermore with the Russia and Ukraine and the Russia situation, and the crisis in Europe, of which there are many, not just the catastrophes and war, but as a world peace advocate. I'm advocating the implementation of my Trinity theories and my brothers and sisters to channel the aggression, channel and sublimate. These are things which I admitted in the past months and years, especially during COVID. I have things, I have lust, I have XYZ. Right? I am LGBTQ. I have lost economic, financial, commercial opportunity due to being rainbow LGBTQ, right? I've been blah blah. We gossip, we slander it, blah blah. No need to slander, gossip me. I like to get dirty. I like to get dirty. I like to get dirty. I like to get dirty, but I get back clean up. Got royal, regal, and lofty. I like to get dirty, but I get back clean up. Royally, regal, and lofty. I like to get dirty, but I get back clean. Royal, regal, lofty. Right? So, admit I'm an independent psychological analyst and theorist. For me, what has worked wonders and miracles on the psychological, mental health, and physical health is transitioning into an active lifestyle. Working out, training, and exercising have been, am, and will continue to call for the mass financing of people to work out, to train, and to exercise. Because working out, training, and exercising has been, is, and will continue to be my medicine and therapy of choice. Working out, training, and exercising has been, is, and will continue to be my medicine and choice. So today, November 1st, I got things to be grateful for. And I fight my own battles. If I've offended somebody, whatever, XYZ, we can put on gloves. My anonymous sister got me a nice red glove. I want to box down Donald Trump first. Donald Trump first. Donald Trump first. I'm a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist calling all to support the Global Dragon Union, the 11 principles for 21st century workers, global integrated workers alliance and union for the 21st century. For the 21st century. For the 21st century, where things are going. Inflation, shrinkflation, economic, financial, commercial crises. I firmly believe my DRT, the debt refusion theory, best to be implemented at this point in time. Without a doubt. I have no doubt about that. Just like on COVID, I have a doubt. I am triple vaccinated. I am triple vaccinated. I am triple vaccinated. Please, 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 brothers and sisters, increasing hygiene in public when you go outside. I was outside early this morning, even last week. I went to the bank, did some banking, paid the rent, paid the electricity bill. I've touched the machine, right, the ATM. I was thinking, how many people have touched that ATM machine before me? Before it was clean. Today's Tuesday. It was also Monday yesterday. Was it clean tonight, this morning earlier? Was it clean with disinfectant? I don't know. How many people cleaned the personal hygiene? I don't know. It could be that 20 people, 10 people touched it before me. There was a person before me there, so I know at least one person for sure. I don't know, 5 others, 10 others before me. There's a definite number. Right, but if out of those 5 or out of those 10, let's say before me, they didn't clean their hands, 3 of them, that means so many germs, bacteria, and microbes added. Germs, bacteria, and microbes. Bacteria, germs, and microbes were added to it. Right, I cleaned, disinfected my hand, but if somebody else didn't do it, and I get the germs. What if I didn't clean? I passed them on. Disinfect, disinfect. I open carry my, see? This is how I roll. This is how I roll. I roll with the hand sanitizer and the disinfectant. I roll with the hand sanitizer and the disinfectant in public. Please, please, please increase in hygiene in public. That's just one example. I go to the teller, to the bank machine. I press the numbers, right? So many people pass before me, XYZ, I don't know, personal hygienic habits. And I'm not perfect. I don't play self-righteous. I like to get dirty, but I like to get back clean. So wash the hands, disinfect the hands when you go in a bank, in a store, in a school, in a mall, whatever, in the public. Because when we step outside in the public, we have an added dimension, and that added dimension is the public responsibility. Right here in my underground room office in Temple, Adrian on a Dragon, I can turn everything off, close the blinds, get naked, start dancing naked on Madonna music, the Cash is 6ix9ine music, or whatever music, right? Rihanna music. My price room 1 hour dance, naked dance, androgynous, special agent hunter, dragon dance is $1 million or 1 penny less. $1 million Canadian for 1 hour. So right here in this underground room of September 1:34 p.m. Please, if you do make $1 million on the profit, you got 3 more hours to buy, sell, trade stocks on that Wall Street. Black Hawk, Black Hawk, Black Hawk. There, Mr. Fink, Black Rock. Right? Buy, sell, trade stocks, futures, options, puts, sells, trade, commerce. Do pork bellies, futures, options, penny stocks, dollar stocks, big $156 stocks. Buy, sell, trade. Please give 10% of that 1 million, which is equivalent to 100,000. Do the math. 100,000 divided by 4, that's 25,000 for each. You can give 25,000 for women's sports leagues. 25. First and foremost, food security, because everybody gotta eat. Food security first. Women's sports leagues, LGBTQ youth services, and 25,000 for Mother Nature. Let's plant a tree for every tree. How many trees can be planted with that 25,000? Depending on the deal XYZ, but I'm sure we can get a deal, get a on the seeds on XYZ tree and plant a few thousand trees by that 25,000, if not a few hundred, right? Because what is money? Money fundamentally to buy, sell, buy, sell. Fundamentally, money is to buy, sell. I pay my rent. I'm grateful, thankful that I pay my rent for the month of November. I'm grateful, thankful, pay my electricity bill. Not only that, but do a meditation on the electricity. It's light above my head. It's connected with so many power lines across this La Belle province, where I'm a Quebecer, world peace advocate, Quebecer, Canadian, North American, right? Now, I'm going to monitor, see the Israeli elections because they have a lot of relations with Israel, business, economic, commercial, financial, and otherwise, right? Security-wise, X, Y, Z. And I do believe in the implementation of my trinities, and I do believe in my implementation of what I call Protocol Genesis 33 verse 4. Protocol Genesis 33 verse 4. The Protocol Genesis 33 verse 4 refers to a story in the Bible where the two twins embraced and kissed. Refers in a story in the Bible where the two twins embraced and kissed. Refers in a story in the Bible where the two twins embraced and kissed. So in all things, for NATO, please, Mr. General Secretary, Jen Stober, brother. Please, I want to hear you say to the troops, NATO military troops, armies of NATO, love you, or make love tonight with consent. Otherwise, what are we fighting to say for? I'm going to take orders from no general. Call anybody general who doesn't have love for yours truly, Adrian Hana Dragon. Who doesn't have love for this rainbow dragon who's got a big red booty. If I ain't got love for me, stay away. 2 meters away. Keep my holy, sacred, and divine name out of your mouth if it's not for a blessing. Simple. Simple, straightforward, and direct. Due to being an Israeli in a past life, many incarnations, Israeli was one of them. I have a lot of, not, don't like to generalize, but a lot of Israelis have the reputation that there's a culture shock for Canadians, for my brothers and sisters from the USA, from America, from Europe. When they go to Israel, they think it's rude culture, or rude people. Israelis are rude. Well, it's not really that it's rude. It's that it's a more straightforward, a more direct culture. General overall, it's very diverse, but it's straightforward, staying on direct. Like right now, I'm gonna be straightforward and direct with everybody who's ever listening to this, past, present, future, XYZ, whatever, blah blah blah. On this Facebook, my rent's paid in full. My rent, my electricity bill is also paid in full, and I got full Trinity. Paid my bill, paid my rent, paid my electricity bill. Fully paid my rent, fully paid my electricity bill, fully paid my rent and electricity bill for the month of November. Rent and electricity bill are paid. I'm gonna say thank you, love you, kiss you, past, present, and future workers of Hydro Quebec, who with brains and muscle, because it requires brains, some brains and muscle to build all this civilization which we built, and to maintain its civilization, right? To maintain the dams, the electricity, and everything. It requires some brain and some muscle, right? Farming, brains and muscle. Otherwise, everybody gotta eat. Farmers, love you, big dragon hugs. Farmers of Quebec, Canada, US, and beyond. NATO. Farmers. Everybody gotta eat. Our food is wholly sacred and essential. Food is wholly sacred and essential to our daily activities to build, maintain, and upgrade civilization. It's so essential and holy and sacred. Eating It can be a holy act, and it is in my spiritual teaching as a versus spiritual teaching student. Eating is holy, right? So thank you, offer. Since I like to offer more than blah blah blah, because blah 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 is, I get, yes, sure, okay, good. 7 books. Got some 7 massages with that. Got some 7 kisses with that. Got some 7 X's with that. Got some 7 tit with that. Some 7 tit with that, and some 7 tit with that. Or gonna self-censor a little bit. It's not too early in the morning to rap. It's not morning yet. It's one never too early or late to rap. Anyways, you can rap whenever you want. 1:39. I'm wearing a Israeli shirt, which is actually from a rock metal band. Actually, listen to a few songs. I'm auctioning this on PayPal. North America shipping only. NATO member countries shipping only in Israel. So Israel, NATO member countries of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization member states, and North America shipping only. If you want PayPal, I'll make an offer on this and this polo I'm auctioning, and this black jeans and this coffee mug. Halloween, what does it say? Even witches need coffee. Even witches need coffee. Even witches need coffee. Could write a song just for that. Thank you, love you, kiss you. Offer big lifetime hugs. If you're a worker in Hydro, Quebec, a dragon offers you anytime you see me in your marching race. Say, hey, c'est toi le dragon arc-en-ciel. C'est moi, tabarnak. You're the rainbow dragon. Yes, that's me. I'm the rainbow dragon. How you offered? I'm a farmer. You offer me hugs. Sure. I might ask if you're vaccinated, if you washed your hands, because hygiene is important. So I might ask if you don't mind. Hygiene. Did you wash your hands so I don't? You I like my hygiene. I like my hygiene. I like my hygiene in interactions with others. I do get dirty. I don't mind getting dirty. I do. I'm not pure. I'm not pure. I'm not pure. I got issues. I watched a little POR and a little bit during the Sabbath over the weekend. No need to spy on me, RCMP, RCMP. No need to spy on me, CSIS, CSIS, no NSA, FBI, CIA, Stasi, Stasi. All the Stasis are gone after 1989 November. MI6, MI6, FSB for my KGB, FSB for my KGB. Mossad, Mossad, Mossad. Nothing to spy on, nothing to see. I got a little androgynous scarlet dick. We gotta get that out of the way. My theories are important. The most important thing are my theories, my art, and love. Because love is also action. So yes, to farmers, truckers, all you can eat. I mean, not eat literally. All you can hug. I'm an all you can hug. All you can hug, receive and give, to hug you and to hug me. All you can hug, all you can kiss, all you can tickle dragon. I'm an all you can give and receive because I like to give pleasure and I like to receive pleasure. I like to give pleasure and I like to receive pleasure. I like to give pleasure. I have to receive with consent, obviously. Ask, just ask. I'm supposed to. If I've offended, I fight my own battles. You can be the Pope. We can put on gloves. You can be richest. Who's the? I don't know who's the supposedly an economic, financial, astrological brother. Bill Gates has been on and off since 1993, I think. He's been in the past 30 years. I think that Bill Gates was like 20 years. He was the richest on and off, and he's the richest back and on. Then not for a year. Then up again for a year. Then my astrological brother, because his birthday is on the 28th of October. Whatever, blah blah blah. So if we put on gloves, we can put on gloves, no problem. Box, one on one, live stream at Facebook, put on gloves, and we can go 12 rounds. 12 rounds is what? 3 minutes each round. Do the math, do the math, do the math. 3 times 12 is 36 minutes. You see, my workouts are 2 hours long, man. Some of my workouts are 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours long. You dragon workout, multi-millionaire athletes. It's independent athlete. I'm broke. But I got 718 trillions of kisses. Fight my own battles. We can put on gloves and don't turn the other cheek. Rabbi Jesus, I like what he did. I wish I could do what Rabbi Jesus did. Turning water into wine. I can turn a lot of water into wine. I get world peace. We got world peace. We got everybody drunk and dancing and kissing. I wish I could do that. I can't. I'm not a prophet. I'm a universal spiritual teaching student who's learning every day. But if one thing that I would love to be able to do, Rabbi Jesus was what to do was turn water into wine. Turn water into wine. Rabbi Jesus, water into wine. I'll forget. Israelis, North Americans, Canadians, Quebecers. We got a lot of rivers here. We got a lot of lakes. So just one lake and be enough for the whole La Belle Province. So to drink in Canada. And wanted to wine, that would be cool. Since it's 1:44 p.m. here in the afternoon, I said I fight my own battles. If you want to put boxing gloves or can freestyle battle rappers, yeah, living in gated communities, freestyle battle rap, philosophize, discuss, philosophize. I don't like to argue much. Yeah. Just like to do and be and meditate. Take long baths and workout training exercise. So I'm gonna do everyday carpe diem. I'm doing everyday carpe diem as I'm doing today. Loving philosophizing this in Hawk Island, Montreal. HAWK, Hawk Island, Montreal. You see me usually wearing red on these streets, most likely steel toe boots, busting a dance move, or I'm waving my rainbow flag. Don't mind it if you're offended. Or we can go one on one, any place, any time, and challenge, set time, duel, offense, duel with boxing gloves. I fight my own battles. We can put on gloves and Rambo, Tango, Lango, blah 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 blah. Or we can of course dance battle. Prefer a dance battle. Philosophize. Theorize. No need to slander me, gossip. I lust. I am LGBTQ proud all day, rainbow 24/7. Artist. As a matter of fact, I would love to go to Tel Aviv. Pride. Dressed as a rainbow dragon. And I would just say three things. I would say Chava in Hebrew, Chava meaning love in Hebrew, and Tanzen. Tanzen means to dance in Yiddish. Tanzen, to dance in Yiddish, and of course the word for kiss. What is the word for kiss again? Let's see. Neshika, Neshika, or be just Neshika. Lenashek, Lamed Nun Shin Kof. Le for Lamed, Lenashek, to kiss. To kiss, le. So to kiss is kiss. Lenashek. That's my message to Israelis today. My message is Lenashek. Lenashek. That's co-prime minister. That's what I do. First and foremost, whoever wants, why the Knesset, Tel Aviv, Yerushalayim, Haifa. My favorite city in Israel is you're not gonna guess. Bet Shemesh. So if I do have a place in Israel, it'll be Bet Shemesh. So I want a little Bet Shemesh. From the Bet Shemesh, literally the house of the sun means Bet Shemesh, house of the sun, Bet Shemesh. Or be kiss. Kiss. That's the first thing I offer. Kisses. Because kisses I got 718 trillions of kisses. Trillion haneshek I got. For all my willing, loving allies and armies. So I can make all my willing, loving allies and armies kiss me in ears. Got some brains, some muscles, some philosophy with that. As a universal spiritual teaching student, I got questions. I don't have answers. I know this, I know that. I know sunrises, sunsets. This whole world is mysterious, and our being is part spiritual, part physical, and they have to be complementary in a covenant cooperative way. We have feminine, masculine, we have learning harmony to advance towards a next, to break the impasse, which advance toward a global civilization. It's been hard decades, and now it's tough times, economic, financial, commercial times. For myself, living in the worst economic, financial, commercial times of my life, but I have lots of art. A great artist. I'm a great athlete. The people's athlete. Work out for the farmers, truckers, butchers, bakers, nurses, grocery store clerks, doctors, and of course dock workers, and the school workers, nurses, doctors. My workouts, many for many years, and in COVID especially, have been dedicated to these parts of civilization, right? And will be today later on if special workout later on today. So Co-prime minister, whoever gets elected in Israel, is a pro-labor, universal revolutionary centrist, because I'm a pro-labor, universal revolutionary centrist, with my philosophies and my call to support my dream, which is the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom. A public-private partnership that I'm calling all to support, because fundamentally my dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom calls on a public-private partnership to implement my Trinity theories, of which first and foremost has to be the debt refusion theory. So speaking about the debt refusion theory again, I'm grateful, thankful that my rent's paid in full. Thank you. I'm grateful, thankful that my electricity bill is paid in full. Thank you. My electricity bill, my rent's paid in full. Thank you. Workers of Hydro-Quebec, past, present, and future, who since 1944, founding of Hydro-Quebec, have built with brain and muscle 63 dams across this Quebec La Belle province. Take my hat off. The workers who achieved this achievement, to build electricity, to utilize the rivers, hydroelectric powers, so that yours truly now, this November 1st, does this philosophical, artistic, spiritual, meditating, learning online event and records it on Facebook Live and puts it on the YouTube channel with clean, zero pollution, zero emission energy, with clean, zero pollution, zero emission energy, with energy that is clean, zero pollution, zero emission. Since 1944, 63 dams hydroélectriques, les centrales hydroélectriques. Il y en a 63 à Bay James, dans le nord du Québec. There's 63 dams in the north of Quebec. Brains and muscle, they were built across this La Belle province. 63 dams were built with brains and muscle so that brothers and sisters here in La Belle province, and not only La Belle province, Quebec, but we also give to 5, I think right now 6, maybe 6 states in the U.S. Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and other states in the northeast of the USA, that Hydro-Quebec gives electricity. And it's clean, zero pollution, zero emission. Mother Nature approved, certified. Mother Nature approved, certified. Mother Nature approved, certified. Right? Mother Nature approved, certified. So I'm grateful for that I'm utilizing Mother Nature certified, approved electricity to light. So I light on my face to see me better when I speak. What I say, it's more important than my appearance. To heat my coffee, to do this recording, to heat my coffee, get seconds, brew my coffee, keep my coffee hot with clean, zero pollution energy, light above my head, to work out, train, exercise, record, because I plugged my smartphone earlier today, right this morning. I plugged it in, and the energy, it's clean, zero pollution energy that I'm utilizing. So I'm grateful for that fact. I'm grateful for today. Carpe diem. My message to my brothers and sisters, Québécois, Québécoises, Québécois, is l'hygiène en public, s'il vous plaît. Hygiene in public, please increase. Augmentez l'hygiène en public. Donnez-vous un câlin. Consentant, un gros câlin comme jamais avant. Give yourselves a good hug like never before. Regular physical exercise, I encourage, because has been, is, and will continue to be my medicine and therapy of choice. I have been, and will call for the mass MASS financing by a public-private partnership on the Dragon Army for people to be encouraged and sustained to work out, to train, and exercise. By a public-private partnership, I'm calling Bill Gates, Microsoft, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, of course, Elon Musk, the Starlink satellites to be integrated, and of course all institutions and organizations. Public and private partnership with all governments, health ministers, ministers of health, ministers of XYZ, allies and armies, right, transcript, everything that I call for us to do, and citizens. My own healing has required action and will require today, because I feel joyous and I feel good when I work out, train, exercise. It gives me some health and joy, or feel better, feel better. Cause the philosophy, my philosophy is, this body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. That's my philosophy. The body, not just my body, but if you're an ally in army, your body as well. To me, is a temple, a holy, sacred, and divine temple. Your body, for both pleasure and purpose, to give and receive pleasure in whatever ways, right? Whether it's by a kiss, whether it's by a rub, whether it's by a massage, sure. Right now, to be like a lot of Israelis are, and the reputation is that they're rude, but it's a cultural, straightforward, direct manner, such myself I can be now. It's 1:56 p.m., 1:53, I am grateful, thankful that my electricity bill is paid. Thank you. I'm grateful that I'm doing an electricity that's clean, zero pollution, zero emission, zero pollution, renewable energy. I am also grateful that my rent's paid in full. My rent's paid in full, rent fully paid. That I've got this black coffee that farmers harvested, kiss you the farmers' hands, give you big dragon hugs. The truckers who transported the coffee for me to drink it. I'm grateful for it. Grateful for this cup of coffee. Grateful. Grateful that I got food. Food is always taken in mind. I can work out, train, exercise, do my post 300 workouts, right? So gratitude that I'm grateful for these little things. But at the same time, I wish also a little bit more. I wish I could afford a massage therapy session. Can't afford it, but I do last Saturday. I substituted. I took a 1 hour long bath, more than an hour long bath in a hot water to substitute for that massage. Sure, I wish I could get a massage. Hey, Tom Brady, Colin Nasib invite you over here in this underground room of Sun Temple of the Dragon. How much period of football? 15 minutes each quarter. Got 4 quarters. Do the math. 4 times 15 minutes is an hour of football. Play. A lot of truckers and farmers, they put in more than the athletes, multimillionaires, man. So, so Brady and Colin Seeb, who's not the only one who's LGBTQ rainbow like myself. There are many, but I understand economic, financial, commercial pressures. I've lost economic, financial, commercial pressures. I've lost opportunity, continuance of contract due to being LGBTQ, to being LGBTQ. Lots of continuance of contract, lots of continuance of XYZ, having money, XYZ. I've lost money. I've lost finance. I've lost economic. But to be bitter about it, I was bitter for a day. I was like, my rent's paid, I got food. I'm gonna workout, train, exercise. Who's gonna stop me from marching in steel toe boots? I've died during COVID. Adrian H. Dragon. I died during COVID and being reborn. Adrian Dragon, androgynous pansexual, founder of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. Right in this underground room of Sun Temple. Androgynous pansexual, founder of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. 1:56 p.m. With trillions of kisses I got on this hot island, Montreal, to all my willing, loving allies and armies and beyond. Kisses I got to give. To give and receive pleasure is something that is wholly sacred and divine for me. If I can bring XYZ pleasure, give hugs. Kisses do XYZ, dance, because I'm the world's greatest dancer fundamentally. As I am calling for the implementation of my Trinity of Theories, 1:56 p.m. So what is the DRT? The DRT, of course, that I'm calling the implementation thereof is to take all private and public debt, my private debt, is $10,000 to the RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, and I have to note that due to the fact that the central bank has hiked the interest rates, and now it is, of course, I'm paying the most interest I have ever paid on this debt. I'm paying the most interest I've ever paid on this debt. I'm paying the most interest I've ever paid on this debt. And millions of Canadians are at risk of losing their homes. It's a serious matter. Worst economic crises with inflation and shrinkflation, then the 2007-2010 great financial crises, right? Great financial crisis. 1:57 p.m. So debt refusion theory, the DRT is this. Taking all the private and the public debt, if my private debt, if I'm X1, you're X2. There's hundreds of thousands of millions of X's. So if I'm X1, representing the private debt will be represented by X's. So X1 plus all the hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions across Quebec, Canada, North America, NATO member countries, and my protocol, Genesis 33 verse 4, Israel and beyond. Brothers and sisters in South America, Central America, our brothers and sisters in Africa, the Middle East, and so on, for world peace. So taking all the private and the public debt, for example, my private is 10,000. Taking all the private Canadian debt, converted, because there's going to have to be a conversion, because my debt refusion theory, it's called DRT, debt refusion theory, has to come first before the other ones, because the other ones, the citizen integration theory and the democratic fusion theory, are once the debt refusion theory is implemented. And the implementation of the DRT in order to create the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, which are a public-private partnership of my dream, which manifests as the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, which I'm calling all willing living to support. supporters, volunteers, XYZ, type, the dream, transcript. Support this dream. The dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom. Multi-millionaire athletes, multi-millionaire activists, multi-millionaire sports players, multi-millionaire CEOs of corporations, Canada, North America, NATO and beyond. Call it a heart from your story, the rainbow dragon, who's broke, but who's got trillions of kisses. That's what I got. With some brain and some muscle, some philosophy with that, some theory, of which I believe at this point in time, November 1st, my theory to be implemented is first and foremost the implementation of my theory is best. The debt refusion theory. Debt refusion theory. What is the debt refusion theory? So taking all, let's say Canadian to US dollar conversion. So taking all the debt from Canadians, public and private. The private and public debt of all Canadians, myself included, I'm $10,000 in debt. So converting it to US dollars. So because the US dollar, this is dollar. This is a US dollar which was of the 2009 series, of the series 2009. All the US dollars were from the 2009 series. See, all this US dollar. The US dollar. So the US dollar is still the main world currency for international trade. It's still the main for global finance, for of course world commerce. So it's still the main currency of the world for world commerce, for international finance, and for global trade. The US dollar is still has been challenged since 2007 by the yuan and by other challenges, now by the euro, and by paradoxically in the past weeks, days and months by also the ruble in a paradoxical manner. But I'm not going to go into discussion on that because just briefly, of course, the ruble bounced back to heights, and now it's a powerful currency. Paradoxically, I'm saying because of the sanctions and XYZ. I'm not going to go into that dimension because it's not the time. If anyone want to blah 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 sponsor, commission, open for business for an hour of coffee, just discussing the paradox of the ruble in these times from with my analysis, from what I do know, and again, I know a little bit. Perhaps know some wisdom, some understanding, some knowledge, but nonetheless. So US dollar currency is still the international finance currency of choice in international finance, is the currency of choice in world trade, it's the currency of choice in global commerce. So global commerce, international finance, and world trade, the US dollar is still the currency of choice. So converting all the public and the private debt, my debt, if I'm X1, you're X2, and there's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, hundreds of millions across North America and beyond of private citizens in debt, taking all the debt. Today, one Canadian dollar today is the equivalent of 73 cents US, right? One Canadian dollar today is the equivalent of 73 cents US. So one Canadian dollar is the equivalent of 73 cents US. So taking all private and public debt, my debt, your debt, our debt of Canada, coast to coast, public and private. My private $10,000, whatever that number is, X1, adding it all up, all the X's, the millions of X's in that, whatever it is, in the number, converting all that number into US dollars. Right, it will have to be a conversion. So all the public and the private. So today, $1 is the equivalent of $1.36 Canadian. Today, $1 is the equivalent of $1.36 Canadian. Today, $1 is the equivalent of $1.36 Canadian. Today, $1 is the equivalent $1.37 Canadian. One Canadian dollar is the equivalent of 73 cents US. So the Canadian dollar has depreciated in the past days and weeks and months against the US dollar. And now we're going to see for the peso. One Mexican peso is the equivalent of 0.5 cents, 51, 5 cents and a little bit more. So one Mexican peso is the equivalent of 0.05 cents and a little bit more. One Mexican peso is the equivalent of 0.051 US dollars, and vice versa. So if one Mexican peso is the equivalent of a little bit more than 5 cents US, then vice versa. One US dollar, this US dollar, oh, the US dollar is depreciating because 2 weeks and 3 weeks ago when we checked, one US dollar was 20.01 Mexican peso. Today, one US dollar is the equivalent of 19.75 Mexican peso. So the Mexican peso has gained some strength. In financial terms, in the currency forex market terms, it says that it appreciated. It appreciated against the dollar. It appreciation. So what's called appreciation, right? So one US dollar appreciated versus the the US dollar has depreciated versus the Mexican peso, while the Mexican peso has appreciated versus the US dollar. So it's an inverse relation. It has to be appreciation, depreciation, or it's parity, or it's just stays the same, right? If it goes up and down, if one goes increases in value versus the other currency, meaning that for one unit of the currency of that nation, you get more of the currency of the other nation, it appreciates. While if that currency gets less than the previous day, it means it depreciates. So appreciation in Forex, the Forex market, which is the biggest market in the world in the trillions, appreciation means that it goes up, right? Versus the dollar. So the US dollar today is the equivalent of 19.75 Mexican peso. But last week and 2 weeks ago, it was a little bit more than 20. So the US dollar has lost value, thus it has depreciated. So inverse relationship, the Mexican peso gained, right? Gained, meaning it appreciated. Obviously, if one depreciates, the other appreciates. One appreciates, the other depreciates. One depreciates, the other appreciates. If one appreciates, the other appreciates. So the Mexican debt converted to US dollars, because the US dollar debt, the private and public debt, my brothers and sisters in the US will stay the same. The debt of my brothers and sisters in the US will stay the same. The debt of my brothers and sisters in the US will stay the same, right? Will stay the same, basically. That's what it is. Will stay the same. So this US dollar, see? Series Y6387346, 2009 series, Washington, D.C. With Washington, whereas I was born in the USA after Washington, after Washington. But I was born after 1776. Twice was born in the USA. Served, as a matter of fact, 156 years ago. That way in the back of me, you see the rainbow and the Israeli flag and the dancing goddess army emblem type of art. 718 miles south of Hokkaido, Montreal, served in the US Army. So now we're going to go to see the euro, because the US dollar, the converter will stay the same. So we'll take all the debt, public and private debt of Canada, public and private debt of Mexico, private and public debt of euro member nations and beyond, but in Israel. So €1 is the equivalent of 99 cents US. It has appreciated. Last week it was 98 cents. So by 1 cent, which is kind of like 1%. So we can say that since last week, the euro has appreciated by 1% versus the US dollar. While the reverse, if €1 is 99 cents US, €1 today is 99 cents US. November 1st, 6:06 p.m. UTC time. So 6:06 p.m. UTC time, November 1st, at 6:06 p.m. UTC time, €1 was the equivalent of 99 cents US. Conversely, $1 is the equivalent of 1.01 euros. Conversely, $1, this US dollar, so this will give me €1 and €1 cent. So this US dollar will give me €1 and €1 cent, 1.01. So €1 and 1.0 cents. So that inverse relationship, meaning that it depreciated, because last week it was 1.02. So it depreciated by 1 cent. So the US dollar depreciated, meaning it lost a little bit of value, because it was 1.02, so 1 cent, you got 1 cent more for the dollar, while today you're getting 1 cent less, right? And vice versa, for the euro to US dollar, you're getting 1 cent more, right? Makes sense? That's what it is, Forex. I'm not George Soros, I'm not George Soros either, I know a little bit. I was in a past life born in Frankfurt am Main, involved in commerce, finance and trade. I was in a past life born in Frankfurt am Main, involved in commerce, finance and trade. In a past life I was born in Frankfurt am Main, which is a city in Germany, involved in trade, finance and commerce. And I know a little bit. XYZ today, Hokkaido, Montreal, North America for world peace. This North American, and as a geopolitical analyst and philosopher, as a geopolitical analyst and theorist, my theory and propositions are first and foremost for the collective North American civilization, because it's a geopolitical analyst and theorist and a philosopher. my theory and proponency and discussions for my analysis is, of course, and I believe it this 100%, that we North America, we constitute a collective civilization. I have lectured in the past before you can say blah 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 my videos and dissect and analyze the discussion as a philosopher, geopolitical analyst, and theorist, and of course as an artist as well, but mainly as a philosopher and as a geopolitical analyst and theorist, that we North America, Canada, US, Mexico, and paradoxically include Cuba due to XYZ factors, and Haiti and the Dominican Republic and the islands, that we constitute in North America a collective civilization. And my theory is called the collective North American civilization. My theory is called the collective North American civilization, the collective North American civilization. And first and foremost, my primary proposition and protocol and policy in all things security, prosperity, by the implementation of my theories, are for North America, right? Coast to coast, coast to coast. One border, two oceans. We got one border, two oceans. Yeah, one border, two oceans. That way is the Atlantic, and that way is the Pacific. That's the east. That's the east. The Atlantic. That's the west. The Pacific. And now the sun is shining, covering on both coast to coast, on all of North America and Central America and beyond, right? So now let's see the Israeli shekels. One new Israeli shekel, one new Israeli shekel, one new Israeli shekel. One new Israeli shekel is the equivalent of 28 cents US. One new, the new Israeli shekel is the equivalent of 28 US cents. So the nish, one new Israeli shekel is the equivalent of 28 cents. I don't have cents, this is a dollar. One new Israeli shekel is the equivalent of 28 cents US, right? So vice versa, this US dollar printed in 2009 was all dollars. How many dollars have been printed today? Is the money supply increasing? Money supply increasing? Is the money supply increasing? So one US dollar is the equivalent of 3.54 new Israeli shekels. One US dollars is the equivalent $1 is the equivalent of 3 new Israeli shekels. So this US dollar $1 is the equivalent of 3.54 new Israeli shekels. Kind of stayed the same, but at one point it was 3.58 of about 6 weeks or 7 weeks ago, maybe 7 weeks ago it's 3.58. So let's say if we take into consideration 7 weeks ago and now, it has depreciated a bit. The US dollar has depreciated, has lost value because it went from 3.58 to 3.54 now in 7 weeks. Let's say if we are to compare in weeks and months, let's say months, 3 months, we can see that there has been some change, and that change has been not appreciation, that change has been depreciation. So it lost. So if one US dollar today is the equivalent of 3.54 new Israeli shekels, because in Israel they use the NIS, stands for new Israeli shekel. So that means it lost about 4 Israeli shekel cents, the cents in Israel that that's used, right? The ILS, Israeli new shekel, because it was 3.58 about a few weeks ago, about 6 or 7 weeks ago. So it went up and down a bit. So it depreciated while the new Israeli shekel appreciated versus the US dollar. So if you take only $1 or $100, when you go in 1,000 and a million, of course it makes a difference in the bread and butter. Okay? You get milk, you get more milk, you get more shekels, you get more dollars when you go at the macro level than at the micro level with just one unit. But if you have 100, if you have a million, then it adds up. So that's the difference. And now institutions are trading, buying, and commerce is established, right? What's coming now? All these currencies that I've taken. What did I discuss? I've taken Canadian dollars, I've taken Mexican pesos, and I've taken euros, and I've taken Israeli new shekels. How many? US dollars, Canadian dollars, Mexican pesos, euros, the euro, and Israeli shekels. 5. Let's say we could add some more. You want to add more? 6. Let's add 7. What is the currency in Egypt? Egyptian currency. Let's see. Let's see Egypt, because I was there many past lives. By the pyramids, I don't know how they were built. The Egyptian pound. Egyptian pounds. So $1 Canadian is the equivalent of 1776 Egyptian pounds. Today, the pound, Pound, the pound, right? Or let's say British pound now. So Egyptian pound we have, it's $1 Canadian, Egyptian currency, $1. $1, how much is the currency today? Let's see. So $1, this US dollar today is the equivalent of 24 per 15.15 Egyptian pounds. Egyptian pound. How much would that give me? Would that give me some? My anonymous sister has given me the gift three days ago. 3 mamous. Mamous is a nice pastry that I love. It's a mamous from Egypt. It has like date paste, and it's so good. It's not very sugary, not very sweet, but it's one of my favorite. One of my favorite for not 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 the not so sweet, not so sugary, but very good with coffee, with tea, and with milk. With milk. Can't afford milk. I can afford milk this first week of November. Maybe if somebody buys this shirt by the end of this video at 3 p.m. We're gonna end it at 3 p.m. We're gonna get another cup of coffee and this. We're gonna continue discussing. We're just gonna get a refill of the cup of coffee and we're gonna continue the DRT discussion. Grateful time for this cup of coffee, for this black coffee from the farmers. I don't know the country of origin, the provenance, but I know that it was created, made, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother's son. So I'm gonna say gratitude for this black coffee, and I don't know the country of origin, but I know it was made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun, as all fruits, vegetables, and legumes are in grain, and all the grains are made, created, and produced by that dance with her brother the sun. The goddess who dances. You can be secular, I'm non-sectarian, non-dogmatic in my universal spiritual teaching student, as a universal spiritual teaching student who does not know it all, right? There's so many mysteries to the Bible. So many mysteries to the Torah, I don't know. It's the holiness of the letter Aleph, and the letter, the holiness of the sun, the holiness of you, your body, my body, the sacredness of a kiss, the sacredness of a massage, of eating a good double, triple cheeseburger. That's holy, sacred, and divine. You can be holy, sacred, and divine. You go in a strip club. Strippers, please give the farmers a free lap dance. Give the farmers, the truckers, and all involved in the production and distribution of food, the butchers, the bakers, and nurses with that free lap dance. Please, please, please. Strippers, please, please, please. That's Adrian Dragon's call. Rainbow Dragon's call. Please. Cheers. But I do know that this coffee, black coffee, was harvested by one of my brothers and sisters, farmers. So that I do know that this black coffee was harvested, although I do know that it was produced, made, and created by the dance of the goddess with her brother sun, as all other fruits, vegetables, and legumes, even my favorite grapes and grains, from the black fertile earth with the nutrients, elements, and vitamins contained thereof, with the golden light and heat of the sun, in combination with the rain. That was how the fruits was produced. All the fruits, all the grains, all the vegetables, all the legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother sun. You don't have to say goddess. Say Mother Nature, Earth, the black fertile earth here in La Belle Province, the farmers in Canada. Thank you, love you, kiss your farmers' hands. Thank you, love you, kiss your farmers' hands. Thank you, love you, kiss your farmers' hands. I were made, created by that initially. Our brothers and sisters, farmers, big dragon hugs to whoever farmers somewhere in the world, maybe Brazil, maybe Colombia, maybe Cuba, maybe Costa Rica, maybe Uganda, maybe Ethiopia, maybe Ivory Coast, maybe even Vietnam, the coffee bean came from. It can be 3 different continents, from Asia, from Africa, from South America or Central America. It could be. Don't know. I do know is it was produced that way by the dance necessities of the black fertile earth with the rain, the water, holy, sacred, divine water, and the sun rays. And my brothers and sisters, farmers harvested somewhere. That's what I know. So one US dollar today is the equivalent of 24.15 Egyptian pounds. One US dollar. This US dollar today is the equivalent of 24.15 Egyptian pounds. One US dollar today is equivalent to 24.15 Egyptian pounds. So let's take also the Egyptian pound. Let's say 1 US dollar to equivalent pounds. We're gonna do also the pound sterling in Britain, the United Kingdom. This is kind of part of the Commonwealth. My Pope is the sun. My Pope is the sun. My Pope is the sun. I say the word goddess is universal spiritual teaching student. I am non-dogmatic, non-sectarian in all approaches. My message to my brothers and sisters in Quebec, brothers and sisters in Canada, brothers and sisters North Americans, NATO member countries and allies, Israelis today on Israeli election, we're going to do some reading, is in a non-sectarian, non-dogmatic manner. Please increase in hygiene in public. Wash your hands, disinfect your hands with soap and water when you're going to public. And please increase in acts of goodness and kindness. And if you're a millionaire, multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire, please, please, please finance food security, because everybody got it. Non-sectarianism. I have to go far left, far right. With solutions, creative ideas, do this, do, X, Y, Z. What can you do? What can I do? You know, this is why, because it's blah, blah, blah. It's required to build, and civilization has its discontents. It requires to build, maintain superstructures, right? And in a parallel life, I am a scientist. In a parallel life, I'm a scientist. In a parallel life, I'm a scientist. Where supercomputers, satellites, ICBM rockets, microchips is my chosen path. I sent myself during COVID millions of pages of technical information about 3G, 4G, 5G, 6G, 7G, and satellites, and supercomputers. I got headaches. I sent to my parallel self, who's a scientist, schmuck. Think you're smart. He says, I am smart. I'm one of the smartest. He says to me, my parallel self, I'm one of the smartest person on the planet, me. I grew up in Germany. I lived my adult life in Israel. I went to North America. I went to all the top sciences school, and I'm a top scientist. He says the parallel self to myself. Can't even do this equation. I said, okay, I'm gonna try. You give me patience. She give me 93 books, thick books, 156, 93 books in science, innovation, and technology with mathematics, science, satellites, quantum physics. So 93 books, thick books, 718 pages average each book, 718 pages each book. So you do the math, 93 times 718 pages and pages. Oh, I get headaches. So much information, so much knowledge. So you schmuck. You try to do my workout. I created my workout, General War Integrated Total Body Training Program System. The Dragon Army workout, which I've done more than 300 when I've officially turned that A of my surname into a no. So I said, wow, what do you mean? And my parallel self was a scientist, top scientist in the world in that parallel life. Says, oh, I get sore. My body aches. I'm not able to do your workout within your rules, because the rules of my workout are simple. You got 93 minutes to do 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hawks. That holy, sacred, and divine trinity. 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hawks. 13 max reps per set, 3 minimum, anywhere in between 7, 6, 5, 10, 9, 5, whatever the number is. Within those rules, and 31 seconds minimum of marching or jogging or walking or running fast paces required in between. Those are the rules. 4 main rules, 4 main numbers I give him. So your workout has simple rules. 93 minutes is allocated in total for one to do 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hawks. Holy, sacred, and divine trinity. 13 repetitions maximum per set, 3 minimum, anywhere in between 7, 6, 5, 9, 10, whatever the number is. A minimum of 31 seconds, that's half a minute plus 1 second, 31 seconds, is required of marching or jogging or running or walking fast pace. 4 main rules, 4 main numbers. He says, oh, I'm not able to do it yet. He's getting better at it. He said, but I've been doing it I've been trying to do it. I'm getting better at it. I'm almost there. Now he told me last week, said I'm almost there. Maybe one more week and I'll be able. 2 more weeks and I'll be able. By the end of the Scorpio month, I'll be able to do it within the rules. I said, wow. See, bravo. I said, maybe I'm gonna gain more wisdom, understanding, and knowledge and discernment in you as a scientist who builds satellites, and supercomputers and microchips and gadgets, smartphones. So meaning that brains and muscle is required for the building, maintaining, and upgrading of civilization. Brains and muscle is required for the building, maintenance, and upgrading of civilization. Brains and muscle is required for the building, maintenance, and upgrading of civilization. Brains and muscle is required for the building, maintenance, and upgrading of civilization. Right, that was what's all my connection with the parallel self, or my parallel self as a scientist. That's what's basically fundamentally it is, and it is my philosophy. To maintain, upgrade, and maintain civilization has been required, brain and muscle. For my own healing, action is required. To channel and sublimate aggression and violence, do workout training program, do 100 push-ups as a people's doctor, Dr. Dragon. My prescription is prescription. March for an hour, jog for an hour, go jogging for an hour and a half. 100 push-ups, here's my workout. 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hawks. Here's the prescription. One general integrated total body training system. One dragon workout three times a week, one every day, Monday to Friday. People's athlete, people's doctor. So $1 is the equivalent of £1 today. So we're gonna do the conversion to US dollar. So this US dollar paid in 2009 is the equivalent of 87 pounds sterling cents. 87 pounds sterling. $1, 87 pounds sterling cents. 87 pounds sterling cents. £1 sterling is the equivalent of $1.15. £1 sterling from the UK is the equivalent of $1.15 US. It went down a lot. If you see the chart, this is interesting chart. Whoa, the chart keeps on going down since October to October last year. It went down. So in 1 year, it depreciated. It was almost 1.40, and now it depreciated by what? Almost 25% depreciation. The pound versus the dollar. While the dollar inverse relationship, the US dollar appreciated, gained strength against the sterling pound. Wow, bro, this is you look at the chart from 1 year chart, it was almost 140, it was like 1.37, and now it's 1.15. So that's a big drop, almost a quarter, like a bit more than a quarter, 25% depreciation of the pound sterling versus the US dollar, while the US dollar appreciated more than a quarter, meaning 25% versus the pound sterling. So the pound sterling today, £1 sterling today is the equivalent of $1.15 US cents today. That's the trade. So we took in 7 currencies. We taken the Canadian dollar, we taken the US dollar, the Mexican, well, the US dollar remains the same, all the public and the private debt. US dollar, Canadian dollar, Mexican peso, the euro, of course, the Israeli new shekel, the pound sterling, and the Egyptian pound. So those 7 currencies translate all the public and the private currency, converting into US dollars. So whatever the public and the private debt of Israel is, the NATO member countries, the European member countries, the NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Also, Turkey is in NATO, so we have to consider the lira. Let's say the lira. Lira take 1 lira to US. Lira, the Turkish lira. 1 Turkish lira is the equivalent of 0.054 US cents, so 5 cents and a little bit more. 1 Turkish lira is the equivalent of 0.05 cents US, and vice versa. 1 US dollar, this US dollar is the equivalent of 18.59 Turkish lira. 1 US dollar is the equivalent of 18.59 Turkish lira. 1 US dollar is the equivalent of 18.59 Turkish lira. So right now we have all the import and export, right? Because a lot of it fundamentally is determined in such a manner. So all the import, all what's coming in from Israel, chocolates, all goods, whatever goods coming from Israel, we have a lot of Israeli products on the market. I've also tried Israeli wine. Unfortunately, at the moment, the last one I tried, it's too expensive at the moment for me to purchase Israeli wine. I decided mostly like $16. So now I'm going all my wines if I can afford it. Because I like to drink wine, red, white, or rosé. It's all below $10 a bottle of a liter, or 750 milliliters. It's all about a liter average 750 milliliters, which is 3/4 of a liter, right? 750 milliliters is 3/4 of a liter. 750 milliliters is 3/4 of a liter. So 1 liter of wine. I usually buy now under $10. Under $10. Anybody wants to make me some joy, some sponsor, give me wine. Never gonna say no to wine, food, beef, cheese, hamburgers, hugs. Never gonna say no to hugs, kisses, cheese, wine, kisses, tickles. Never gonna say no to that. To dancing, to working out, to marching, to XYZ. Never gonna say no to those things in life. Kisses, hugs. Never gonna say no. To wine, to grapes, to chocolate, to food, to tickles, to hugs, to marching, to working out, to training, and to exercise. Open for business. I like to give and receive pleasure, and got some vein and some muscle. So taking all those currencies, convert them all the private and the public debt of the aforementioned, first and foremost North American collective civilization, Canada, US, Mexico, and beyond, turning whatever the number is in US dollar to create what I call the UE. The UE stands for U dot E dot U dot, so stands for Universal Exchange Unit. With all that debt, public and private, whatever that number is, converted into US dollar, because the US dollar is still the currency of choice for world trade, currency of choice for international finance, currency of choice for global commerce. So convert it into US dollar, create the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, preferably by biometrics. The hand, the voice, and the eye are unique biometric identifiers. And whatever the number is of all the public and the private debt, that number initially financed the money supply for the UE, right? And then all the prices adjusted, frozen at that point in time, November 7th, let's say, frozen at that point in time, frozen at that point in time for all the goods. For all the goods, all the goods, for all the goods and services at that point in time. So converted to US dollar, whatever it is, to say, that cup of coffee, XYZ. So we have a standardization sort of with the UE, Universal Exchange Unit. It can be, of course, also in a printed form, and of course, but I prefer, that's why I'm calling for a public-private partnership, in order to, of course, to be more digital. I mean, I can do it from Mount Royal, and XYZ, so I have that amount, whatever it is, in all the debt, Canadian debt, public and private, Mexican debt, US, Euro member nations, Israel, all of it converted into US dollars, and that create a new global central bank, an international central bank, a world central bank, to issue what I call the UE. The UE stands for Universal Exchange Unit, U.E. Universal Exchange Unit, the unit. So a public-private partnership with all institutions and organizations and central bank across to finance this new transnational financial institution, to issue the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, and all that amount converted, all the Canadian public debt into US dollar, whatever the numbers. The US dollar stay the same. The Mexican peso will be converted into US dollars, and the euro and the Israeli new shekel will have to have this parallel currency called the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, in order to buy, trade, buy, sell, because fundamentally money is to buy and sell, to trade, to buy and sell, right? Played by biometrics with applications calling on Mark Zuckerberg, Alliance, public partnership, Bill Gates, as such, public private partnership, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and all public and private institutions and organizations to support the aforementioned. So to create the UE, create the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, preferably, like I said, by biometrics, the hand, the voice, and the eye, unique biometric identifiers. It can be Dragon 0, right? B0. And then with all the number, whatever the number is, to issue this UE, and that would be all the public and the private debt, the number, the initial money supply, that number of all the public and the private debt, the United States, Canada, Mexico, all combined, will be the money supply of the UE initially. And then we're going to increase the money supply with a principle of maximum interest rate of 10%. Maximum interest rate of 10%. We can have 9.99, 9.7, 7.70, 7.70, 7.70, 6.975, but maximum 10% interest, maximum 10%. That's what I'm asking. 10% is the maximum of charity, to acts of goodness and kindness, 10%, right? And all loans thereafter. That's why I'm calling on the implementation of a 7-year plan ASAP. This private-private partnership, and first and foremost, the debt refusion treaty, taking all private and public debt. My analysis has been complex and institutionalized and come up with this synthesized form for the solution for the 21st century with inflation, debt refusion theory is the solution. And I'm not perfect, far from it, but this is the solution. This is the solution. Where we are now in the 21st century. That's why it's a public-private partnership. All institutions and organizations, corporations, to support the debt refusion theory, create the UE, whatever the number is in US dollars. This is great financial alchemy. It has been based on a lot of calculations and theories, but it's fundamentally a theory which now in this 21st century. So my private debt 10,000, put mine, yours, and all the millions, hundreds of millions, tens of millions together. The UE, Universal Exchange Unit, biometrics, hand, voice, and the IR, unique biometric identifiers, issue corporations by a smartphone and a smartphone finance, a smartphone, whatever it is, of course, and to buy or sell and to have to create the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions. The International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, to be integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations of security, organizations and institutions. The Dragon Army to be implemented with all public and private institutions and organizations of security, armed forces, by my philosophies, such as the philosophy the body is a temple, to encourage people to work out, to train, and to exercise, to offer services after securing the three essential elements of civilization for all: food, food, housing, and transport. Imagine all across North America, all the food. Since I started this video, maybe 1,000,000 coffees were made, to given 10,000 to truckers, the food, sandwiches, pizzas, all across Canada by the millions of people. We're hundreds of millions in North America, right? So thank you, love you, kiss you, farmers, to feed all the truckers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, big dragon hugs. To feed all the farmers, all the food, right? Sandwiches, the salads, the potatoes, the XYZ, the sausages, the bacon. I cannot. This way I wanted to get a bacon, but I said I'm gonna get my noodles at 39 cents. 39 cents noodles. 39 cents noodles. That's good. That's good. Good noodle. I gotta say, the good noodles. 39 cents. So debt refusion theory applied, like the aforementioned application of the debt refusion theory to create the UE. Israeli legislative elections. We're gonna go ready for a rock and roll. Legislative elections. We're gonna rock and roll a little bit. From Wikipedia, we're reading 22 Israeli legislative elections happening now, November 1st. Today. So that's my call for the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. Dream first, implement the debt refusion theory, all private and public debt. The aforementioned North America, the collective North American civilization, NATO member countries, and due to my protocol Genesis 33 verse 4, Israel, to my protocol Genesis 33 verse 4 to have Israel, to my protocol Genesis 33 verse 4 to have, of course, Israel in the alliance. So in 2022 Israeli legislative elections will be held in Israel on November 1st, 2022 to elect the members of the 25th Knesset. So that's why I asked to election the members, and the Prime Minister, of course, will be the next Prime Minister. As co-Prime Minister, all I can offer my brothers and sisters in Israel is come dance in Tel Aviv at the Pride Parade and offer kisses from Bet Shemesh, and just kisses. What's the right for kisses again? Achava. I'm just gonna say achava. I'm going to say for how many millions of Israelis now? 6.6 million, 7 million now. Israelis, 7 million, more than 7 now, close to 9 now, right? Israel population is like Quebec, maybe. Quebec. $9.5 million. Like Quebec, 9.5 million. So kisses, like kisses. Meshika. Lenashek. So with kisses, God. Lenashek. Also with kisses, lots of kisses. Menashek, give 1,000,000 to Amy. It's from Tel Aviv. So legislative elections and dancing and dancing. Legislative elections will be held in Israel on November 1st, which is today. Is November 2:39 p.m. now. It's 2:39 p.m. in the afternoon, close to 3 p.m. Maybe by 3 p.m. somebody gonna make an offer to buy this jacket. This is horrorcore Israeli rock band. Horrorcore is an Israeli rock band. Horror is an Israeli rock band. These black jeans auctioning this horrorcore shirt. I'm auctioning this jacket. I'm auctioning as well as the coffee mug. Make an offer, blah 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 blah. PayPal, North America only. Legislative elections will be held in Israel on November 1st, 2022, to elect the members of the 25th Knesset. The next elections for the Knesset following the 2021 election were initially scheduled for no later than 11th of November 2025, according to the 4-year term limit set by basic law. So legislative elections will be held in Israel on November 1st, 2022. So today, this is November 1st now. So legislative elections will be held in Israel today. Today they're held. Now they're counted. What's the time in Israel? It's 9:40 p.m. Let's see. What's the time in Tel Aviv? Tel Aviv time. 8:40 p.m. 8:40, so it's plus 6 hours. 8:40 p.m. in Tel Aviv, Yafo. Tel Aviv, Yafo is 8:40 p.m. So they're counting. Maybe they're still voting. Voting is closed. Maybe we'll see in the news tonight who won. It's the 5th. So legislative election will be held today, November 1st, 2022, to elect the members of the 25th Knesset. The next elections for the Knesset following the 2021 election were initially scheduled for no later than 11th November 2025, according to the 4-year term limit set by basic law. The unity government formed between 8 political parties. 8 political parties. I can run it as an independent. I'm late. After the money to finance campaign, I'm doing now late. Israeli brothers and sisters, put me on the ballot. Dragon. How do you say dragon in Hebrew? That's what I'm offering. I'm not offering anything else but kisses, hugs, tickles. That's all. Dances, marches. We march. Israel can march. I wonder if Israel is tiny, tiny, tiny. Geographically, right? Geographically, spiritually, financially rich. My fellow LGBTQ community very rich in rainbowness. Israel is very rich in rainbowness. Israel is very rich in rainbowness, like this rainbow dragon. So we have the dragon. Let's see, how do you say dragon in Israeli, in Hebrew? So the dragon. Dragon. It's a Dalet Resh Kof Vav Nun. Dalet Resh Kof Vav Nun. Dalet, the letter Dalet Resh Kof Vav Nun. Dracon. So it's Dracon. Vote Dracon. That's what I would put for the campaign. Not prime minister. I don't want to be prime minister. Co-prime minister. Whoever gets elected, co-prime minister. 3 things: kisses, hugs, tickles, and some dancing with that. That's what I got. Kisses by the trillions, hugs by the billions, and tickles by the billions. The unity government formed between 8 political parties held the narrowest possible majority, 61 seats. 61 seats. In the 120-member Knesset, so 61 is a majority, 60 is half, 61 is a majority, formed between 8 political parties. Wow, lots of parties. In April 2022, MK Shilman quit the government coalition and left it without a majority. On 20th of June 2022 of this year, following several legislative defeats for the government coalition in the Knesset, Prime Minister Naftali Bennett and alternate ALTERNAT The alternate Prime Minister Yair Lapid. The alternate Prime Minister of Israel is the de facto deputy of the Prime Minister of Israel and the second highest ranking cabinet minister, who is designed to replace the Prime Minister of Israel in a rotation government. The position was created a jury to resolve the 2009 Israeli crisis. Announced the Prime Minister of Israel is the head of government and chief executive of the State of Israel. Announced the introduction of a bill to dissolve, D-I-S-S-O-L-V. It's not a chava, it's a solution to us. Solution is a chava, love. It's how do we solution, how this look? Love. Love is also action. Otherwise, blah, blah, blah. You want kisses, come to Agent Hana Dragon. You want hugs, come to Agent Hana Dragon. You want tickles, come to Agent Hana Dragon. You want workout, you want some philosophy, you want some rap, you want some art, you want some dancing. Ally, support the dancing goddess and the Dragon King. Pay for the Knesset, which was approved on the 30th of June, simultaneously in accordance with the rotation government that was part of the 2021 coalition. Lapid became prime minister and serves in a caretaker capacity until the elections take place November 1st. So November 1st is now. Now it's happening. It's happening now. At caretaker capacity. A caretaker government is a temporary ad hoc government that performs of governmental duties and functions in the country until a regular government is elected or formed. Depending on specific practice, it usually consists of either randomly selected or approved members of parliament until the elections take place on November 1st of this year. This will be the fifth legislative election to take place in the last 3.5 years, and as no party since 2019 has been able to form a stable coalition. 40 political parties registered to run for these elections. That seems like a high amount. 40 political parties registered to run for these elections. Although only 12 to 14 parties are projected to make the 3.25% minimum to win at least one seat under Israel's closed list proportional representation. A closed list describes the variant of party list systems where voters can effectively only vote for political parties as a whole. Thus, they have no influence on the party-supplied order in which party candidates are elected. If voters had some influence, that would be called an off-list. Proportional representation, PR, refers to a type of electoral system under which subgroups of an electorate are reflected proportionately in their electoral body. The concept applies mainly to geographical and political divisions of the electorate. System for the Knesset, 120 seats. So we have the current party, November 1st. All 120 seats in the Knesset needed for a majority. Likud, party Likud of Benjamin Netanyahu, current seats has 29. Yesh Atid, which is leader is Yair Lapid, has 17 seats. National Unity, Benny Gantz has 15 seats. Shas, Aryeh Deri has 9 seats. Labor, Merav Mikhaeli, 7. UTG, Moshe Kfin has 7. Yisrael Beitenu, Avigdor Leben has 7. Religious Zionist have Bezalel Smotrich has 7. Meretz Zechava Galon has 6. Hadash Tav Ayman Odeh has 5. Ra'am Mansur Abbas has 4. Jewish Home Ayelet Shaked Shaked has 4. Belad Sami Abu Shahed has 1. So those are the parties. I'm curious, going to be watching the election closely. Love, let's increase in acts of goodness and kindness in a non-sectarian, non-dogmatic. All the parties, all North Americans in the world and Israelis and beyond. Let's increase in acts of goodness and kindness from today on. Let's increase in acts of goodness with kindness from today on. That's the main message to the world.